Yo, what's going on? Welcome into Rover Sports. How is everybody doing today? Jacoby Brissett was terrible. Matt Ryan sucks. So many bad quarterbacks in week 3 of the NFL season. It is absolutely bizarre. The Dallas Cowboys lose. Stupid game. The Colts are bad. Gardner Minshew is just a pretty average quarterback in the NFL. And it just was a really tough and disappointing week for a lot of NFL teams. And there's not really a lot of good quarterbacks in the NFL. When you look at the quarterback position, you have, Rodgers, Mahomes, Tom Brady, and, Breeze is hurt. But then you look at the other 29 or 28 starting quarterbacks in the NFL, and then you have Minshew, Kyle Allen, Matt Ryan, who's terrible, Jameis Winston, who's really bad. He had one good game, big deal. He's probably going to have 4 interceptions next week. The Saints have Drew Brees, but you look at the NFC South, there's really not a lot of good quarterbacks. It's Kyle Allen, Matt Ryan, and Jameis Winston with Drew Brees. In the NFC East, you have Prescott, Jones, Carson Wentz, so that's probably one of the best quarterbacking divisions in the NFC East. And then the Redskins have a committee of quarterbacks that are not very good. The Bengals have Andy Dalton, Mason Rudolph, who I don't think is that good, and Baker Mayfield, who's the best one of the bunch by far, and then Lamar Jackson, who's really played nobody this year. I mean, he is up and down in every single game, and they're a 500 average team. The Baltimore Ravens are an average team, and they got blown out at home. I mean, the Ravens this year, their only wins are against the 2 worst teams in the NFL, the Dolphins and the Arizona Cardinals. So for people thinking the Ravens are good, they went to Kansas City, they got laughed out of that joint, and then they played the Browns, and they got laughed out of their house. So the Ravens are a fraudulent team. They haven't played anybody good, and when they play average teams like the Browns, they get their ass beat at home. So the Ravens, they're probably not even going to make the playoffs anymore. Big Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers, I was wrong about that one. You look other places in the NFL, the AFC South has the worst quarterbacks other than Deshaun Watson. I mean, Brissett, Gardner Minshew, and then Jacoby Brissett, Minshew, Mariota. They're all not good quarterbacks, and Deshaun Watson is the best of the quarterbacks in the AFC South. In the AFC West, you have Derek Carr, not good. Joe Flacco, really terrible, not doing anything this year. The Broncos are having one of their worst seasons ever. You then have Mahomes, but then Phillip Rivers is old and playing very mediocre ball this year, not very good. So now you're seeing like these quarterbacks are not good. And then in the NFC North, you go out. You have Kirk Cousins, who is can't play in a big game and has very limited mobility and is overpaid and playing terrible football. You have Matt Stafford, who has never won a playoff game before in his life, and he's never even won a division championship. And he's having a good year because he has a really good defensive coach in Matt Patricia, and the team around him is finally all right. He's an okay quarterback. You have Aaron Rodgers, and then you have Trubisky and Chase Daniel. So majority of those quarterbacks, 3 of the 4, are not even that good at quarterbacks. Let's look at the AFC. Sam Darnold, who I don't believe in. Josh Allen, who I think is very good. Then you have the guy in Miami, Josh Rosen. He's okay, but he's too stiff as a pocket passer, and Tom Brady. So I just pretty much went around the league there and told you that there's not a lot of good quarterbacks in the NFL. There's not a lot of good teams in the NFL. I mean, everybody is bordered down. I mean, you might have the Saints, Cowboys, Rams, 49ers, Chiefs, and Patriots. So you have about 6 teams. Like I told you, you have about 6 teams that are worth a damn in the NFL. Maybe the Browns come out of nowhere, but, maybe the Lions or the Bills are there. But, it's a whole hodgepodge of teams. And then there's a lot of teams that just are not very good in the NFL. And, that it's just the way it kind of is. Like the Vikings, the Bears, Packers, there's just no kind of method to predicting NFL games. The Texans turned out to be bad, the Colts. So you can look at all these different teams, and every team from about team 7 to team 22 is the same pile of mediocre garbage. So it's good for the Giants and the Oakland Raiders, teams that are building that. It's not good for teams that are paying a quarterback a lot of money, like teams like the Falcons, maybe the Lions, the Vikings, the Oakland Raiders still paying Derek Carr. If you pay a quarterback and you are like the Chargers, if you pay a quarterback, even if you're Seattle, Russell Wilson, it's a waste of time and money. Who has Seattle beaten? They've beaten the Bengals. They've beaten the Steelers. Again, crazy fluky game there. They almost lost that game, and then Seattle beat the Arizona Cardinals. Like, Seattle's not very good. They're 3-1, but they're not good. So if you pay a quarterback in this day and age, you're dumb. You could find a quarterback off the scrap heap, whether it's Kyle Allen, whether it's Gardner Minshew. These quarterbacks like Minshew and Allen that are getting paid $700,000 are just as good as Kirk Cousins that's getting paid $28 million, or they're just as good as Derek Carr that's getting paid $32 million. So Marcus Mariota, if maybe the Titans could sign Mariota for like $15 million, and he's bad, but maybe you can sign Mariota because Mariota. Even Minshew has a bigger arm than Mariota. Mariota has all the escapability. He has some mobility, but he just doesn't have the recognition or the arm talent really to get it done. But that's kind of how I viewed week 2 in the NFL yesterday. It just was a crazy, crazy day, or week 4, of the season was wild all around.